Why do some people make more money and still feel broke, while others seem to keep building wealth quietly year after year? Why does a raise disappear so fast for one person, but become another person's next layer of freedom? And why do so many people study how wealthy people make money, but almost never study how they stop money from leaking away? That is the part most money advice gets wrong. The real question is not, what secret do wealthy people know? The real question is, what habits protect their money after they get it? Because staying wealthy is different from getting wealthy. Getting wealthy can happen through income, business, investing, timing, inheritance, skill, luck, or one big opportunity. But staying wealthy usually comes from boring habits repeated for years. Not flashy habits, not motivational habits, quiet habits. The kind that prevent lifestyle inflation, bad debt, panic decisions, fake status, and invisible leaks from eating everything you worked for. So in this video, we are going through 10 money habits that keep wealthy people rich. Habit number 1. They separate income from wealth. Most people treat income like proof of wealth. If someone earns more, drives a nicer car, eats at better restaurants, or lives in a more expensive place, we assume they are doing better financially. But income is not wealth. Income is money coming in. Wealth is money that stayed. A high income can be spent completely. A big salary can disappear through a bigger house, a bigger car, luxury subscriptions, travel, taxes, debt payments, and a lifestyle that always expands to match the paycheck. That person may look rich from the outside, but inside their finances, every dollar already has a job before they receive it. Wealthy people who stay wealthy understand that income is only the raw material. The finished product is ownership, savings, assets, flexibility, and time. So they do not ask only, how much did I make? They ask, how much did I keep? How much of this income became freedom instead of just becoming a nicer version of the same pressure? That is the first rule. Income can make you look rich, but retained money is what makes you financially strong. And if you miss that distinction, every raise can become a more expensive trap. Habit number 2, they buy time before they buy status. When many people get more money, the first instinct is to upgrade the visible parts of life. But people who stay wealthy often think in the opposite order. Before they buy status, they buy time. Time means an emergency fund that keeps one bad month from becoming a disaster. Time means lower fixed expenses, so they are not forced to accept every bad deal just to survive. Time means investments that can grow in the background. Time means cash reserves that allow them to wait, negotiate, recover, and choose. Status gives you a feeling today. Time gives you options tomorrow. That is why a person can look less impressive than their income suggests, but actually be much richer than people assume. They are not spending every dollar to prove they are successful. They are using money to reduce how much life can force them. So the question is not, can you afford the upgrade? The better question is, did you buy enough time first? Habit number 3, they avoid lifestyle inflation that becomes permanent. Lifestyle inflation is not always dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a slightly nicer apartment, a few more subscriptions, more delivery food, more impulse purchases, and a car payment that feels normal because everyone around you has one. Individually, each upgrade feels reasonable. Together, they become a new baseline. And that is the trap. The danger of lifestyle inflation is not that you enjoy life. The danger is that temporary income increases become permanent obligations, a bonus disappears, a raise becomes normal, a good year gets absorbed into monthly costs. Then when life changes, the lifestyle does not shrink easily. Wealthy people who stay wealthy may spend money, enjoy comfort, and buy nice things, but they are careful about turning every desire into a recurring bill. A vacation ends. A subscription repeats. A car loan repeats. A bigger rent payment repeats. A habit of ordering everything because it feels convenient repeats. The real danger is not the purchase. The real danger is the new floor. Say your life requires more money every month just to feel normal. Wealth becomes harder to keep. So a wealthy habit is to let income rise faster than lifestyle. That gap is where savings live. That gap is where investing lives. That gap is where peace lives. Habit number 4, they make boring money automatic. Most people try to manage money with willpower. They wait until the end of the month to see what is left. Then they hope they will save it. But the end of the month is where money goes to die. By then, the bills have already spoken. The impulse purchases have already happened. The small leaks have already added up. People who stay wealthy do not rely only on motivation. They build default systems. Money moves automatically to savings. Money moves automatically to retirement accounts. Money moves automatically to investments. Debt payments happen on schedule. Bills are tracked before they become surprises. Large, irregular expenses are planned before they arrive. The point is not that automation makes you rich by itself. The point is that automation protects your best intentions from your worst days. If saving depends on how disciplined you feel after work, stress, family obligations, advertising, and a long week, saving will lose too often. Wealthy people understand that important money decisions should not be remade from zero every month. The system should make the good decision the default. That way, wealth building does not require a heroic mood. It just requires not breaking the system too often. Habit number 5. They know the difference between assets and appearances. This is where a lot of people get fooled. A nice car looks like wealth, but it may be a depreciating asset with a loan attached to it. A bigger house may look like wealth, but if the payment, taxes, repairs, insurance, and stress absorb all your cash flow, it may be more pressure than freedom. Luxury clothes may signal success, but they do not create future income. A perfect vacation photo may look rich, but if it sits on a credit card balance, it is not wealth. It is debt with good lighting. Wealthy people who stay wealthy are not immune to status. They are human, but they are usually more aware of the difference between what looks rich and what behaves rich. An asset behaves rich when it can support you, grow, produce income, reduce future costs, or increase your options. An appearance behaves rich only when someone else sees it. That does not mean you can never buy things for enjoyment. It means you should not confuse enjoyment with wealth. The habit is to ask one uncomfortable question before upgrading your image. Is this purchase improving my life, or just improving the way my life looks? Habit number 6. They respect liquidity. Liquidity is a boring word for one of the most powerful forms of freedom. It means having money available when life does not follow your plan. Many people look wealthy but have very little liquidity. Their money is trapped in a house, a car, a business, a retirement account, collectibles, or commitments they cannot easily unwind. On paper, they may have assets. In real life, one surprise bill can still create panic. People who stay wealthy usually respect cash and accessible reserves more than people expect. Not because cash is always the highest return, but because cash gives them optionality. It lets them avoid selling investments at the wrong time. It lets them handle emergencies without expensive debt. It lets them say no. It lets them wait. It lets them act when opportunity appears. That is why liquidity can feel inefficient until the exact moment it saves you. If every dollar is locked away, borrowed against, or already promised, you may be technically growing but practically fragile. The wealthy habit is to keep enough accessible money that a normal problem does not become a financial crisis. The number is different for everyone, but the principle is the same. Do not become so optimized that you become breakable. Habit number 7. They treat debt as a tool, not a lifestyle. Debt is not automatically evil. Debt can help buy a home, build a business, fund education, or bridge timing gaps. But debt becomes dangerous when it stops being a tool and becomes a lifestyle. That happens when credit fills the gap between what you earn and what you want to look like. It happens when monthly payments become normal background noise. It happens when minimum payments make debt feel manageable while interest quietly keeps it alive. People who stay wealthy usually have a different relationship with debt. They care about the purpose, the rate, the risk, and the exit. They ask what the debt is helping them own, build, or control. They ask what happens if income drops. They ask whether the debt increases future options or removes them. Good debt, if used carefully, can increase options. Bad debt usually buys the feeling of options while reducing real freedom. The monthly payment may look small, but every payment is a claim on future income. And the more future income is already claimed, the less freedom you have. So the habit is not simply avoid all debt. The habit is to refuse debt that turns your future paycheck into someone else's property. Habit number 8. They measure decisions over years, not moments. Most bad money decisions feel good in the moment. That is why they happen. The new car feels good on the test drive. The bigger apartment feels good on move-in day. The vacation feels good while booking. The risky investment feels exciting when everyone is talking about it, but wealth is not built in the moment of excitement. It is built in the years after the decision. People who stay wealthy have a habit of stretching the timeline. They ask, what will this cost me over 5 years? What will this require every month? What happens when maintenance starts? What happens when the excitement is gone? What does this do to my future choices? That habit makes them less vulnerable to sales pressure, because sales pressure usually compresses time. It makes you focus on today. This deal, this payment, this upgrade, this limited window. But wealth thinking expands time. The moment asks, can I get it? The long timeline asks, can I carry it? Those are very different questions. Habit number 9, they protect their attention from financial noise. Money is not only math, money is attention. Every advertisement, trend, hot take, fear story, market prediction, lifestyle post, and comparison can pull your attention toward a decision you did not plan to make. The more reactive you are, the easier your money is to move. You see someone else upgrade, and suddenly, your life feels behind. You see a market headline, and suddenly your plan feels wrong. You see people making fast money, and suddenly your slow plan feels foolish. People who stay wealthy are usually better at ignoring noise. They do not need to respond to every trend. They do not need to prove they are early. They do not need to change their whole plan because one headline was scary. Information helps you make better decisions. Interruption makes you make more decisions. And more decisions are not always better. Sometimes the best money habit is simply refusing to be constantly emotionally moved by what everyone else is doing. Because once your attention is controlled, your wallet is easier to control. Habit number 10, they define enough before money defines it for them. If you do not define enough, there is no finish line. More income will not solve it. More assets will not solve it. More status will not solve it. Because the target keeps moving, there will always be someone with a bigger house, a newer car, a better vacation, a larger portfolio, or a lifestyle that makes yours feel incomplete. People who stay wealthy often have some version of enough. It may change over time, but they have a sense of what money is supposed to do for them. When money has a purpose, spending has boundaries. When money has no purpose, comparison becomes the purpose. And comparison is expensive. It can make a rich person feel poor. It can make a high earner feel behind. It can make a normal life feel like failure. That is why defining enough is financial self-defense. It tells your money what job it has before the world tells your money where to go. So here is the plain rule for this episode. Wealth is not only built by making more money, it is protected by stopping money from leaking away. The habits that keep wealthy people rich are usually quiet. You do not need to be wealthy to practice those habits. In fact, practicing them before you feel wealthy may be the point. Because if money leaks away when the numbers are small, it will probably leak away when the numbers are bigger. And if you learn how to protect money now, every raise, every bonus, every opportunity, and every good year has a better chance of becoming real progress. The real question is not, how do wealthy people afford everything? The real question is, what do they refuse to let money do to them? This video is for financial education and general analysis only. It is not investment, tax, or legal advice. Your financial choices should depend on your own income, debts, goals, risk tolerance, and personal situation. And here is the question to leave with. Which habit would change your money the fastest if you practiced it for the next 12 months?